So what's up? Wanted to look at some DraftKings plays this week and see who I'm high on. Do a little quick video. It's a little easier than writing it out this week. I was going to try something different. So haven't really looked at it much, but want to tell you just going through it. Some of the players that I like, some of the plays that I like. Look at defense first. It's the least exciting. I always start with the defense. It's usually cheap. It makes me feel like I've got more money left after I get a defense. I go defense tight end every time. But one of the defenses that I think will be sneaky in tournaments would be Miami. They're playing Cleveland. It could be a bloodbath. Um, I like, let's see, the Jets defense this week. It'd be a good week for the Jets. I like the Vikings even against Carolina. And, you know, the Broncos are a pretty decent price, 3,500. Probably use them in some cash games. I think it might be worth paying for that. Let's look at some tight ends. Um, Dwayne Allen is one that I like. You know, with Moncrief going down, he could be a pretty good play. He's going to get an uptick. Let's see, Dennis Pitta, man, he's the truth. I got him this week on waivers in a couple of leagues. Joe Flacco and Dennis Pitta making the comeback. You know, it's just they picked up where they left off. I think it's great. I like Jason Witten this week. Um, Gary Barnidge could be a little sneaky in tournament plays. You know, quarterbacks that are jumping in, they like to bail out to that tight end. Let's see, Eric Ebron. He's coming up in the world. I think that's a great matchup against Green Bay. They can't cover the tight end very well. If you're going to pay up, Jordan Reed. The Giants defense is really good, but I think if I was going to be Kirk Cousins this week, I would be looking for some Jordan Reed. Let's look at quarterbacks. Speaking of Captain Kirk, don't get Captain Kirk this week. Stafford, I like. He's relatively cheap. Philip Rivers has a really good matchup. Anybody against Indiana is a pretty good matchup. Ryan Tannehill, I know it's Ryan Tannehill, not the best at NFL football, but it could be a good week for him, and he's a pretty good price. Jameis Winston could have a bounce back game. I know a lot of people will be going away from him because of last week. I think like 4 points. It's terrible. So I know that he's been just thinking about that for days. So hopefully he can get it together and have a bounce back. Um, Ryan Fitzpatrick, you know, I feel like Kansas City's a little overrated as a defense. He could have a pretty good game. If I'm going to pay up, it's going to be Drew Brees or Matt Ryan if I'm playing the Thursday, Monday slates, which it's kind of crazy how they did Sunday slates now. They don't include the Monday game. I hate that. You have to play the Thursday games if you want to do the Monday, but you know with DraftKings at least you can swap out players, so it's not that bad. I prefer to play Sunday slates, but I would do either Drew Brees or Matt Ryan for sure. That's going to be the game of the week. And Possibly luck. I think some people are going to be shying away from him because of last week, but that was a tough matchup. I mean, Denver. That's a tough matchup. So don't be scared to use him. Let's see on the running backs. It could be Todd Gurley's week to do something. Eventually, he's going to have a nutso game, so it could be a good play in tournament if you're going to pay up. If you're going to pay up, Matt Forte, like I said, KC's a little overrated. A lot of people will be going with these fill-in running backs from the injuries that hit us last week. Fozzie Whitaker, Charles Sims, Washington. I think that really in tournaments, if you go contrarian on that and stay away from them and maybe pay up for running back, you could be really setting yourself apart from everybody else because you know a lot of people are going to be doing the cheap play, and I think that the cheap play is a good thing for cash. You know, Charles Sims is kind of my favorite. Um, Melvin Gordon's about at the price that he should be, 5,800, but I do like him this week. Anybody against Indiana, they're terrible on defense. Let's see. Frank Gore. San Diego is also not very good at stopping the run. Um, Again, that Atlanta New Orleans game, either one, Tevin Coleman, Devonta Freeman could be good plays this week. If I'm going to go Miami running back, I'm going to go Kenyon Drake. They don't like J.A.R.V.I.S. He peed in somebody's Cheerios. The word was that they were debating on whether even to make him active when Foster is out. I mean, still, it's really I don't want anything to do with that in season long. I wouldn't touch that. Did pick up Drake in one as a hope. Um, I like Ryan Matthews this week. That could be good. Eddie Lacy, a lot of people will be bailing on that. I'm praying that he has a comeback, but who knows? I think he's getting ready to be dead to me. Let's look at the receivers. OBJ, you know, a lot of people will be thinking about that matchup with Josh Norman, this, that, and the other. Last week, they'll be dwelling on that. So it could be a good play in tournaments. I like Dez this week. Probably going to shy away from AJ Green in the cash games, maybe in a tournament, but man, that defense is pretty stout. Brandon Cooks, obviously, that game, play everyone. Colby Fleener is the only one that I would play. He is a piece of garbage. He is so bad. Hype train just took off with him, and man, he's droppable in my opinion. I don't think that this will be the week for him to at least show that he's worth being on that roster even, but I still don't think Drew Brees is going to go to him. I think he's just a mediocre player in a great situation, and you can't make anything of it. I like Brandon Marshall this week. Again, with the KC, and people will be shying away from him because of the injury worries, but I think he's good to go. I'm probably, you know, last year in FanDuel, Larry Fitz was 7,000 every week, and he was serviceable every week. I think you can use Larry Fitz this week. Ty gets an uptick. Philip Dorsett, you know, I like all of those indie players with Moncrief out. Jarvis Landry, good play this week. Jeremy Maclin could have a good game. You know, a lot of the talk is Revis getting burned. So Macklin's definitely capable of burning. Sterling Shepard could be a good play. I like Diggs, you know, without Peterson there, I think they're going to have to throw. And obviously, he's a great player, even though, you know, something about Carolina defense is, you know, they're not as good as what they were. They're just a big name defense. So I really think that, you know, I mean, CJ Anderson lit them up on the ground. They're getting beat on the ground. They're getting beat in the air. They're not as good as they were. So I'm not scared to play anybody against them. I like Diggs and season long. I mean, he's gold. Mike Wallace could be big. Will Fuller tonight. DeAndre Hopkins tonight. Something sneaky would be, you know, everybody's down on John Brown, me included. Definitely down on him. But he has the capability of having huge games, and it could be something that you could try in tournaments. I mean, it's definitely either a hit or a complete whiff, but you could use him. So I think that covers a lot of it. If I missed anything, maybe Victor Cruz. If I missed anything, I'll have a post up. So good luck this week with DFS, and I'll check back with you guys next time. Thanks.